This is my homemade loaded pizza with everything that you love. Let's make this pizza together while I talk about my philosophy of food. But before that, let's make this veggie loaded pizza sauce. Here I'm chopping up all the vegetables I'm using for this. As I have previously said in my videos that I do not believe in hiding vegetables in food, as I believe they should be enjoyed fully as they are. But here I'm just making use of every small little piece of vegetable lying around, like this one carrot I have, a little piece of beetroot, some pieces of pumpkin, and just putting them to a creative use. So just chopping them all up and getting it ready to go into the pizza sauce. This can also be used as a pasta sauce, just tossed into some boiled pasta that tastes amazing as well. Also, these vegetables give the sauce a good body. I have used 1.5 tomatoes, that's what I had, 1 carrot, few pieces of pumpkin, and a small piece of boiled beetroot. This also gives it that great color. So if you have some beetroot, please keep it aside to use to make this pizza sauce. To make the sauce, we'll heat up some oil and start frying the onions and garlic. Just fry it till it becomes a little soft, and then we add in all the vegetables, all the chopped vegetables. With this, we'll add some water and let it cook till it gets soft. I also add 1 Kashmiri red chili. If you are not adding beetroot, you will want to put one of this for some color. But if you are and you want to avoid the red chili, then you can just add the beetroot and leave the chili out. Cook it till it becomes soft. We'll let it cool down slightly and then blend this to a paste. Here I've added beetroot later because it was already boiled. We'll grind this to a fine paste. Once it is finely ground up, I will remove it to a bowl and add some herbs, salt and sugar. You can also add a little ketchup, but I've just added some sugar to give it that little bit of sweetness. This sauce can be frozen and used later for a couple of weeks. And then on to making the pizza dough. The dough recipe is linked in one of my earlier videos, which is the garlic breadsticks video, where I've made an atta and maida dough for the garlic bread. Here it's an only maida dough that I'm using for the pizza, which brings me to my philosophy of food. I avoid eating outside food. I make whatever I like right at home. And I believe that whatever is made at home is good for you, as you can taste the love, care, effort and every single ingredient that has gone into it. So when I want a pizza, it's going to be made with maida for that perfect texture. It's going to have lots of cheese for the taste. And to balance it out, I just make it once in a while, but I make it like this. So now, moving on with the recipe. I'm making this maida dough for the pizza, as it will give it the most perfect texture, the perfect crunch, and surprisingly, it makes the pizza very light as compared to the one with atta. After proofing, I punched this down and now it's ready to turn into pizzas. Here I'm first making some mini pizzas for my son. So pinch off a little piece of the dough ball, dip it into corn atta, not cornstarch, not corn flour, but makai ka atta or corn atta. Roll it out thinly. I'm making small discs here and then top it off with everything. Begin with the pizza sauce that we just made and whatever he wanted on his pizza, which was just some corn, capsicum, and cheese. As you see, he's standing right there, making sure everything he wants goes on his pizza and also sneaking a few bites of the ingredients in the middle. I then top it off with cheese. The cheese I use here is a pizza cheese, the readily available pizza cheese, which is a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar or processed cheese. Just mozzarella will give you the pull but not the taste, and just cheddar or processed will give you the taste but not the pull. So a mixture of that gives a perfect cheese for your pizza. Bake this in the oven till it gets nice and dark brown from the bottom and the pizza is ready. Here I am making a large pizza with all the additions. I'm stretching it with my hands on a big tray. You want to stretch this out a little thinner than you would think because it fluffs up a lot. It fluffs up quite a bit while baking in the oven. Again, using corn atta for the crunch. Use it generously. It'll give a perfect crust to the pizza. The same toppings go on the pizza sauce, corn, capsicum, onions. I had also grilled some chicken, cut into pieces and putting that on. Also sauteed some mushrooms with garlic. That also is what goes on. And some pickled jalapenos for the spice. You can add whatever you like on your pizza. And then again top it off generously with lots of cheese. You want your oven to be running at this point. Let it preheat at the highest temperature that it goes to. So when the pizza goes in, it immediately starts baking and it will be done in a matter of 10, 12, 15 minutes. Won't take very long. For the oven, we want to put this in the lowest rack of the oven. And we want only the lower rods to be turned on. This is because if the top rods are also turned on, the top of the pizza will burn before the bottom crust can form. So just the bottom rod stays on and the pizza goes into the lowest rack of the oven. Once it turns this dark brown is when you know it's ready. So slice it up and enjoy.